Hello and good afternoon. It's about 11:30 on a Saturday, and I'm about to tell you how I died in a motorcycle accident. As far as some groundwork, I talk and I call my mom every single day. My mother and I have a great relationship. Um, and so I was telling her how I was gonna come see her on her birthday and spend her birthday with her because my mom lives in Florida and I live in North Carolina. So that's where we start. So on Halloween, on the 30th, I went out on my motorcycle, and on the 31st, I was in a motorcycle accident. Um, they had to resuscitate me because I died, and they had to resuscitate me. I don't know if it happened in the ambulance or in a hospital, but that's as far as I know because I have a brain injury. I had a TBI, traumatic brain injury, and I had broken bones and everything. So when I woke up, I was in the hospital. I had my left arm was in a cast. Um, so I was in a coma after my accident for 2 weeks. I woke up on my mom's birthday, and I didn't really come to until maybe like the 19th or 20th of November. So when I woke up, my arm was in a cast. I had the wounds, all the wounds from the accident. I have a broken clavicle that can't be healed because that's a very hard bone and it doesn't heal right. And so when I woke up from the coma or from the accident, when I came to after I woke up, it was again around the 20th, and I had no idea where I was, like what had happened. My best friend was there with my mom, my ex-girlfriend. She's my saving grace. And so that's where I woke up. So I went through I went through the rehab center. I went through rehab, and I functionally I was great. I could bend my knees. I could it was like nothing ever happened. And so the doctors and nurses told me that it was going to take 9 to 12 months for me to like recover, to be stable again. And I went through therapy, and my therapy went really well. And then on the like 7th or 8th of December, they released me from the hospital and they sent me home. Now, since I had a brain injury, I had to go back and live with my mom. So I packed all my stuff from my apartment, and we drove down to Fort Myers, and I that's where I spent my the next few months. So I couldn't drink, and I was very angry, and because I couldn't drink, and my family had just visited from Brazil, and I was able to spend time with them, but I couldn't drink, so that made me really angry. So of course I made a fool of myself, and I had a brain injury. I was slow, I was angry, like I couldn't understand why I couldn't drink, but I had a brain injury. Of course I couldn't drink. So that's how that happened. So I started healing very well, and then my brain was healing and everything was great, and then I went home to back to North Carolina about a year ago, like from today, like sometime in March, maybe like the 15th, the 20th, I moved into this apartment and I went back to work. I was gone for a really long time. I was out of work for maybe 4 or 5 months, so I was still retraining myself because there was a lot of things that I didn't remember or I forgot how to do. And so I met some great coworkers, like my new work best friend. I won't say his name, but him and I worked together. I learned everything from him, and he learned everything from me because he was in a different role at our company, and he was now a quality engineer because I'm a quality engineer. And so we taught each other, some of the things I didn't remember. He knew some of the stuff, and like a lot of the things that I didn't remember, like or that he didn't know, like he was learning from me. And so my work began, like I started off on the right foot. So I started playing a video game on my phone called Ebony, and I didn't start spending money right away, but it eventually got to a point where I budgeted my time and my budget for this game. And so I paid my bills, I paid all my bills, and my budget, like everything that I wasn't using on my bills, I was spending on that game. So it turns out I spent almost $10,000 on this game, which I've never spent that much in on anything other than a car. And then, but I still, now that I was back to work, like I was able to drink. So I was drinking like a bottle of wine every few, like I would drink an entire bottle, like 1.5 liter, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So I was an alcoholic and I was spending all of my money on this game. And so on New Year's, this past New Year's, I went through 6 liters of wine in those 3 days. So I had 4 1.5 liter bottles. So on the 3-day weekend of New Year's, on the first day, I drank, and then I stopped because I didn't want to get a hangover. So I put it away or whatever, and then I went to sleep. And then the next day, I wasn't hungover because wine doesn't really give you a hangover if you're drinking the same wine. As far as I know, like everything I'm saying is like from my experience. So the next day I woke up, I didn't have a hangover, so I started drinking again, and then my liver started hurting. I told myself, I was like, okay, this is gonna kill me. Let me put the wine away. And so I put the wine back in the fridge and I went to sleep. So when I woke up the next morning, there was like half a bottle of wine in my fridge. And I was like, okay, well, this isn't gonna kill me, like moderation. So that's where I learned to be moderate with my drinking. So I also don't like throwing things away. So I drank the rest of that wine, and I went sober for an entire month, over a month. And that's something I've never done before, but I'm the type of person that I quit things cold turkey. Like I quit things cold turkey. Like if something's not good for me, I quit it and that's it. So at that time, I quit the drinking and I still had the video game that I was playing. So all the downtime I had at work, I would play, blah, 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 play. And so in this game, I met this guy and he changed his name to Lucifer. So Lucifer, I got the message like he was the one that was gonna kill me eventually because he loved anime. And anime by nature, as far as I know from it, has a lot of dark messages, like a lot of like evil shows, a lot of dark intentions. And so Lucifer taught me the show My Hero Academia. So as I started watching the show, like it started like resembling things like in my life, like Deku. Like I feel like Deku is my spirit animal. And so the more I was watching the show, the more I came to realize like this game is not good for me. So I ended up quitting that game that was holding on to me because I spent $10,000 on this game and I didn't want to quit it because I was very much into money and I love my money, and I there's no way that I could throw away something that I spent that much money on. And so I ended up giving my account to the leader of my alliance, which he taught me everything in the game. Like he taught me like what was good, what was bad, like the way to play it. And so I gave my account to him. And so the more I watched My Hero Academia, the more I started realizing like what had happened. So that's when I quit that game, I started making sense of everything. That's what led me to my YouTube channel. So with this YouTube channel, I want to tell my whole life story about all the things I learned in life, like my childhood trauma, everything that happened like since the time I moved here. But that is the accident that killed me, that reawakened me into this new life that I can now share all my knowledge with you guys. So subscribe, share it with your friends, share my story, because just the fact that I died and I healed as fast as I did, and the nurses are baffled by it, the doctors are baffled by it. My accident was literally a miracle, because I should be dead and I'm not. So I'm putting my efforts into teaching you guys like the lessons that I learned in life, because greed is what holds you back. Greed is what holds everybody back. Like, no matter if they're greedy for alcohol, they're greedy for food, they're greedy for their love life, they're greedy for cars. Like, greed is what triggers all those moral sins, because if you're greedy for something, you're gonna do things on your time, with your intentions, and it's gonna end up killing you by some means. Like, you might not die in a motorcycle accident, but I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell the future, but greed is something that is defeating this world. Greed is destroying this world. Like, Ukraine and Putin and everybody, they're all greedy for, like, Putin is greedy for power. South America, I don't know. But Cristo, the statue of Christ, is in Rio, and that's where I was born. So that's something that, and Brazil is the most multicultural, like, country. South America itself is the most multicultural continent. So that's my story. I feel like I'm losing my message now, but anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to teach you guys as much as I've learned from my life, and I hope you guys enjoy this and share it with your friends, because my message, I feel, is overreaching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and stay blessed.